Good. Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. It is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, and we've got some cool things to go over today. One from Square Enix regarding Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and the other, an update on just how well did Nintendo Switch 2 do in the United States for the month of July. I'll let a couple of people more hop into the chat since this is kind of an unexpectedly early live stream. Yesterday we ended up having two, and they were packed. We had an eShop card giveaway. It also was a horizontal stream instead of a vertical one. We're just doing this right now. Flipping back and forth between the two. But I think more people than not like the horizontal, so I'll probably do those more often. But yeah, it was a great stream last night and the morning one that we had. But right now, we're just kicking it off with this, and maybe we'll throw in another one later today as well. But how are you all doing today? Like I said, I'm giving a little bit of time for you to get in here, talk amongst each other, etc., and then we'll get cooking with the news and what exciting things do we have to talk about. Hopefully you're all having a good week though. It's going by fast, as it always does. I mean, it's already Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday, jeez. You know, you hopefully have a fun weekend, and then before you know it, the next weekend is already like almost here. How did you like the short that was put up today? Today's short was pretty fun because, you know, it's like Metroid season basically. For a lot of us, Metroid is on the mind with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, you know, hopefully coming out within the next few months. We've got till the middle of December, I think. And I'm expecting to hear about the game and its final release date by mid-September in a Nintendo Direct. There was a little bit of a rumor, a little bit of talk, speculation going around saying it might be shown off this week. Dang, unless if Nintendo dropped a sudden this morning, hey, tune in tomorrow for a Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Direct that's 12 minutes long discussing the release date, etc. Dude, how are we going to get it in the end of August? I mean, it's still possible. They could just shadow drop an announcement tonight or just drop the same kind of announcement tomorrow morning on X. But I don't know. It's a little bit speculative. But hey, that's what we're here for, to talk, to have fun, to speculate, and discuss the possibilities. But today's video, like I was saying, the short was the gaming history of August 27th. Now, I could pick from many games because, you know, video games have been coming out for 4 decades plus, but I went with Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on Wii, which came out on this date, like way back. Man, it's been a while. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, though, was a good one. The motion controls were fun, intuitive. The graphics were a little bit better than that of Metroid Prime 1 and 2's. But overall, the game was really solid. But you're here right now, this morning, to talk about the video game sales, right? Or maybe you're here to discuss that eShop card giveaway. What is that? Okay, so I'll explain. In case you weren't here in last night's stream, we've got a new thing on the channel, which is really cool. And this happened last night, and it's bound to happen again. Whether it happens every stream or not, I don't know. That's kind of up to you. But the new thing is, when the stream overall gets to Nintendo $64 worth of super chats, I will, in the moment, go to GameStop.com, buy a $10 Nintendo eShop card, unless if you would like a PlayStation card or a Microsoft card, and I will randomly put it in who is interested in it, and one of you will get a $10 eShop card. Pretty sweet, guaranteed. If there are 20 people here and each person put a little bit towards that Nintendo $64 goal for the stream, hey, you've got a 1 in 20 chance of winning a $10 eShop card back. Now, nobody is obligated to give anything in any stream. I just want to give you something that's fun, that's kind of community built, as a way to give back for your time watching me. Hopefully you tune in because you enjoy a good video game discussion, you build a little bit of a friendship with somebody else in the audience, or maybe you're coming from another channel and you already know one another, making new friends, old friends, whatever, right? But sometimes it's kind of cool to win something too. We got some people in here. Akner Reyes, hi. Rose, also hi right back. Rose says USUSHS. I'm not sure what that means. Akner Reyes, I give you $100. I mean, that would be extremely generous, but no obligation to do so. You don't have to do that, but if you do, I'm very grateful and thank you very much. Like, that's a very generous donation. If you do a $100 super chat, that's both unexpected and quite awesome, but definitely not something that you have to do unless if you're financially okay enough to do it, happy to do it, want to contribute towards the channel and the shorts that I do, the videos, the video game news, etc., help somebody else also earn a $10 eShop card, then that's totally on you. But I would accept, but no obligation, But thank you for that offer. It's very kind of you. But yeah. So the other reason why you might be here, beyond the possible eShop card, that giveaway, is to learn about the Nintendo Switch 2 sales. And what was I talking about regarding these sales being the #1 best-selling console in the United States and for the month of July, etc. I'm going to let you discuss amongst each other for a little bit. Let a couple of more people come in here to go back and forth. Maybe some of you have already heard this news or you're hearing it now for the first time, but I'm going to clue you in on exactly what's up. I'll give a chance for a couple more people to show up, So hang on tight for a second, or talk amongst each other and have fun for a bit. I never mind repeating myself as more people come in, even if I already said kind of like the main topic. If more people show up, I'll repeat that topic. That's all good. Try to add a little bit different sauce to it, a little bit more flavor, so that more people can say, oh, cool, that was a little bit of a deeper dive on it. Because for those that have been here from the beginning, if you hear the same story twice, I don't want to bore you or have it be repetitive. So that's why I would give a little bit more context or break it down or speculate or something like that. So it gives incentive to stick around. Otherwise, somebody else shows up and you're just repeating the same thing for each person, that could get a little bit tiresome. So talk, engage as you see fit, have fun. How have you been enjoying the shorts, by the way? Does anybody have a favorite short so far? If you're new to the channel and maybe you're not familiar with what shorts am I talking about? What's this guy talking about, these shorts? Well, beginning in January, I was doing a Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct countdown because Nintendo here, they finally revealed to us what the Nintendo Switch 2 was and when we would be learning about it more, that being in April. So I did a countdown, and the countdown had a pretty cool theme. It was a different Nintendo shirt that I wore every day for like 76, 77 days until that Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. And then in that Nintendo Direct, Nintendo gave us the release date of the Nintendo Switch 2, which would be June 5th. So for that, I did another countdown series, but this time it was a different location that I was able to play my Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch OLED model, showing the breadth, the variety in which owning a Nintendo Switch and then eventually a Nintendo Switch 2 would give you, being able to play it anywhere on the go. People have known about that for 8 years, but just still, that was kind of like the highlight. So I went to different locations, and some were at daytime, nighttime, and it was quite a bit of fun doing that. That ended up being a successful series. People enjoyed it. So then I came up with more shorts. And I think the most popular one of the summer was the Donkey Kong Bonanza short series. This was a 40-day series where I counted down to the release date of Donkey Kong Bonanza. It was all gorilla themed, workout themed, and that was a lot of fun doing. Some were outside in the nature, others were, at the gym, but it was all pretty cool, and I enjoyed that. Of course, I also had a Ruffy and the Riverside, terrific game by the way, countdown, and an Indie Mania 2 countdown, and that was all about summer. I have countdowns planned for upcoming games too, so you will be seeing more on the countdown side of things. But before I did another countdown, I was like, you know what? I think every day we could benefit. I mean, some people could benefit from like a calendar-like approach of, hey, today in gaming history, what came out on this day, maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, etc. So I pick a game a day. There have been a couple instances where I picked, 2 systems or 2 titles, but otherwise it's just, a game a day that I felt was pretty significant in some way, or I personally enjoyed it, or just had some type of magnitude, some aura in the world on it. And that's what we do a short on, and it's several seconds long. And that's what I'm talking about. So some of you coming in here and saw Metroid Prime 3 Corruption this morning, now you know. A few days ago, GoldenEye 007. Tomorrow will be another one. But that's hopefully enough to catch you up to pace, or up to speed, whatever, that if you're new to the channel and you don't know what am I talking about regarding shorts, well, now you know. But now that more people have shown up, I could get into the main topic, which are the video game sales in the United States and how Nintendo Switch 2 is faring. Because Matt Piscatella this morning from the Circana Group, formerly known as NPD, they cover video game sales and other sales, and they track data in the United States of how many physical, tangible units are sold in stores. They don't necessarily provide exact numbers, but they do give context on what percentage it has sold better than a previous year's sales. If something hits a total number, how many units did it sell now, etc. And basically, he came up online today on Blue Sky, and I gave him proper credit and posted the information that he shared on my X account. And that was that through the end of June, PlayStation 5 was the #1 best-selling system in the United States. And that kind of makes sense. You've got, Egomaniac 87. Hey, welcome. Good to see you in here. Now, we're just going over the sales now, so you actually came in like at a perfect time. I was kind of stalling for a little bit to allow more people to come in, and not that I don't mind repeating myself, but, makes it a little bit more flowy if more people come in to hear it, right? So as I was saying, through the end of June, despite Nintendo Switch 2 coming out on June 5th and selling really well for the month, it only had 25 days of availability for the month. So by June 30th, PlayStation 5 was still the number one best-selling console of 2025. And that makes sense, right? It had a whole 180 days or so. It had a whole 6 months. How's Nintendo Switch 2 going to compare with 25 days? Likewise, it also was the highest generating system dollar-wise. You've got PS5 being more expensive, having sold more, it made more money than Nintendo Switch 2. But once again, though, 180 or so days compared to 25. But the exciting thing is, Nintendo Switch 2 had such a good July. It did so well for the month that not only was it the best-selling console of the month, but now that it's been out for a measly 8 weeks, from June 5th through July 31st, it's the best-selling console overall for the entire 2025. So PlayStation 5 and its 7 months of availability, around 210 days or so, has just moved to second place to Nintendo Switch 2, and it's 8 weeks on the market, less than a full 2 months. And that's amazing. Rico Lee, hey Paul and chat, hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you, Rico Lee. Good to see you here. And the other little bit of data, in addition to the raw sales numbers, is that Nintendo Switch 2 now is also the highest grossing console of 2025. Because not necessarily is one representative of the other. You could be the best-selling system, but not the highest generating, because, let's say you sell this many Nintendo Switches at $300 and this many PS5s at $500. Well, if the difference between Nintendo Switch and PS5 is not that great, but here you've got a PS5 selling $500, it would be probably, in some cases, the higher generating one, the one that made more money. More money was spent on it. More dollars were put into it, right? Not that that matters necessarily all the time. I'm more of a which one sold better kind of guy. That's like the number one stat that I look forward to. Because you also have to look at operating costs and all that other stuff. And, is a company making money on each system sold, or are they losing it? Whatever. But here you've got Nintendo Switch 2 sold so freaking much, and at $450 a pop compared to PlayStation 5's, $500, and the PS5 has, the PS5 Pro model and stuff like that is more expensive, $700 plus dollars. But yeah, Nintendo Switch 2 is now the highest dollar spent system of the entire 2025 as well. And that's pretty impressive. Rico Lee, I knew Switch 2 was doing well, but not this well. That's great. Bodes really well for the future, I think, and the holiday season hasn't even started yet. Wow, yeah. Nintendo's going to really have to crank these systems out, because it's already the hottest selling new console of the year. It's already the most in-demand platform of the summer. And that's not going to change going into the fall, the holiday season, etc. You've got really good word of mouth on the system from people that have a Nintendo Switch 2. You've got a lot of positive expectancy from folks that played and loved their Nintendo Switch for the last 8 years. And then you've got things that are coming out that look attractive. Like if Donkey Kong Bonanza didn't pique your interest enough to buy a system, or maybe it did, but you just can't buy one out there because, they're selling out quite consistently. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, that might attract you. Playing Kirby Air Riders, that might attract you. The thought of, Duskbloods, I like the From Software games, that might attract you. So there's plenty. Not only that, is that compelling, upcoming titles looking really good. Maybe you skipped out on a PS5 or have one and are just looking forward to a new system. But Xbox Series went up in price. PlayStation 5 went up in price. Nintendo Switch went up in price. So Nintendo Switch 2, it having been out for just a couple of months now, still out the $450 and hopefully no tariff affecting it. You've got it being not as far away from Nintendo Switch in price anymore. It still is more expensive, but now you've got a $400 OLED model and a $450 Nintendo Switch 2. That Nintendo Switch 2 is a lot more attractive when it's only $50 more than OLED and not $100 more than OLED. You know, Xbox Series S previously was $300. Now, Nintendo Switch 2 is $70 more only than Xbox Series S because Xbox Series S jumped to $380. So that price difference is considerable at this point. PlayStation 5, you know, $500 to $550, $700 to $750. That price difference is different. It's greater. So that benefits Nintendo Switch 2 once again. So this holiday season, the system's going to do really well. Pecco Strill. This was custom made. I had this Nintendo Switch 2 shirt custom made, and I wore it at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience in Los Angeles. And yeah, I did the same thing for Nintendo Switch, and I have the first shirt of it. Back in 2016, I started wearing that shirt. And actually, when I was in the Nintendo Switch in Unexpected Places commercial with John Cena, I'm the guy wearing the Nintendo Switch shirt in it, which is pretty cool. Rico Lee, I'm getting one myself this holiday for sure. Heck yeah. Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders, and Prime 4 all look great. 3 of those 4 being exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, and one of them definitely going to run better and look more amazing on the console. So that's awesome. And this is even before the September Direct and Mario's 40th anniversary too. Yes. Gosh, the September Nintendo Direct is really exciting to think of. What can we see there, you know? We'll definitely, right, get the release date for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Surely, at this point, they'll give us Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment and a release date and clarify, hey, is it 2025 or is it, you know, first 3 months, first 2.5 months of 2026? Splatoon Raiders, is it 2025 or early 2026? I think the latter, you know. And then get some surprises. And, you know, Square Enix this morning said on X, experience Final Fantasy VII Remake integrate on Nintendo Switch 2. You know, looking great and running at a smooth 30 frames per second this winter. Well, this winter could be between late December through mid-March, late March next year, right? We should get a release date of that at this Nintendo Direct, of Elden Ring at this Nintendo Direct. And like you said, Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary talk. Oof, I've got some ideas on that one. Michael J., you could get that shirt custom made. I had one made that was for the midnight launch Paul Inspire Day. Heck yeah. Yeah, Nintendo doesn't officially sell this shirt like online at a merch store or anything like that. But it can be made. Rico Lee, no doubt, definitely getting those dates for sure. Yeah. And what other surprises? Okay. That was the little bit of sales talk. That was the little bit of talk on Square Enix and Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Let's talk about what is this eShop gift card giveaway, because that was something I was thinking about, which would be kind of fun to do for the channel. And we did it last night in the live stream, and it was a big success, and everyone had a really good time. Free Metroid hat. Speaking of one of the awesome contributors to this channel, whom I appreciate very much, just you being here, Free Metroid hat. September is going to be insane. So hyped for the next General Direct. Yes, Let's talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to bounce back and forth some of the ideas that you have so I could say, that sounds likely, or, oh, I don't think so, but dude, I would love it. But before we do that, let me tell you, because now that more people are here, more people are coming in, what is this eShop gift card giveaway? I'll read one more comment and then I'll get into it, which is good because it might let more people come in here. I definitely think we could get a Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition for sure. Yeah, I can see that. And I would love for Thousand Year Door and Mario and Luigi Brothership to get Switch 2 editions too. Either Switch 2 editions or some kind of significant patch. Yeah. I think Super Mario Brothers Wonder will get an improvement that's significant, maybe even of that Nintendo Switch 2 edition, something of that capacity, bringing it up to 4K, keeping it, 60 frames per second, throwing in some new stages. Regarding Brothership and Thousand Year Door, maybe just patches for those that bring them up to 4K, keep it in there at 60. Although Thousand Year Door is 30, so that would be, pretty noticeable if it went to 60, like the original Nintendo GameCube version. Brothership is a good game. That's fun. It could benefit from a little bit more fine-tuning and performance, but overall the game is solid. I mean, overall, I like the game in general. Okay, back to the eShop gift card giveaway. What is it? Every single stream from now on, starting last night, because last night we ended up having 2 streams. Oh, Z-Teener, you were here last night for that stream, so you know what I'm talking about. I made it a thing. Whenever we get to Nintendo $64 worth of super chats in the stream, not from any one individual person. I mean, it could be, but that's a lot for one person to give, in my opinion. But collectively, throughout the stream, we get to a total of Nintendo $64 worth of super chats. Right then and there, I'll go to GameStop.com. I will get a $10 eShop card, unless if you choose to have it for Xbox or PlayStation. I will randomly roll the wheel over here on my computer, or on the phone. I could probably do that too. Last night I was on the computer. And one person will get a $10 eShop card. You don't have to have contributed to that Nintendo $64 total. You could just be like, for instance, right now there are 11 people here. A few of you are commenting. A few of you might be too busy to comment, and that's okay. But let's say just several folks contributed to that $64 total. I roll the wheel. You said, yeah, you are interested in being a part of the possibility of being that 1 in 11, 1 in 13, whatever. And you win without even contributing to the total. That's cool. Or maybe somebody who did contribute like $5 or $10 gets that $5 or $10 right back, which would be a $10 right back, thanks to the wheel landing on them. And hey, it's a little bit fun for the community. And I'm grateful for the money. Yeah, YouTube does take 30%. So of that 64, right away it goes down to like 41, and I'm giving 10 away. So I basically am getting half of the total. But that's my choice to do so, because your financial contribution does help me out, and I'm grateful for it. It goes towards the shorts that I do. It goes towards the videos that I do. It goes towards everything that I do. But your time is something that I'm also grateful for, and you being here and hopefully being entertained, but also, hey, getting a $10 eShop card for showing up. And this will happen on every stream. Now, what if somehow, I'm not expecting this necessarily, but what if somehow it gets to $128? Well, I would roll another person, and one other person would once again be selected and get another $10 eShop card. Pretty sweet. So for every 64 bucks, someone's going to get a $10 eShop card. And that will happen from now till forever when we do these live streams. James Vipperman, hello. welcome. Egomaniac87, door dashing while listening. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's kind of chill. I mean, you got some video game talk, a little bit of sales data update, hearing something on Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade and how Square is now saying this winter. Nice. But we still don't have a date. And you're working. That's good. And you don't have to get occupied or distracted by looking over at the screen and not being safe while driving. You can just listen. Nice job, Egomaniac87. Thank you for being here. Hopefully this is entertaining and helping make the workday a little bit easier. 10,000 Noodles just got here. Welcome, 10,000 Noodles. Why are we not chilling by the pool and fire? You know, maybe I should do that. Maybe when I do these vertical streams, I should take my phone and tripod in the backyard and chill in or by the Zelda pool or the Mario pool or by the fire pit or something like that. Go climb a tree and just live stream from the tree. That'd be fun. Take y'all to the gym eventually and just work out, be lifting weights while I'm talking video games like that. Hey, that'd be kind of fun. Talk about maximum efficiency there. Getting the swell on while talking gaming with a cool community of people. I like the sound of that. Free Metroid hat. Hope they announce a Metroid Prime 4 Direct. Oh, yeah. To come later during the next General Direct. Also hoping we get Prime 2 and 3 at some point. Free Metroid hat. Did you see this morning's short on my channel? I think you would like that one. If you haven't already seen it, check it out. It's for you. Not to spoil anything, but since you clearly are a Metroid fan, I think you will like this morning's short. I'll just leave it at that in case you didn't, so you won't be spoiled. Not like there's anything to spoil, but you'll see what I mean. Z-Teener, what's your most wanted game? Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Okay, well, I'll clarify. Of what we know that's in development, that's been announced, that we don't necessarily have a date on, but that we know, it just is coming, is on the horizon, that would be Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I'm a huge Metroid Prime fan. It's been a while since Prime 3 Corruption, and I want it. I'm a huge Metroid fan in general. You can't see the poster from this angle, but I love Metroid Dread, Super Metroid. Samus Aran and I go way back, old school. And I played Beyond at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience in LA, and I loved it, and I want it so bad. I want it. I want to play it. I want to just deep dive in, a 40-hour or so story experiencing the wonders of this world that Retro Studios and Nintendo, created, exploring every nook and cranny, all on Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to opt for the 4K 60 frame rate per second mode instead of the performance mode, just because 60 already runs so freaking smooth. I played it at the event in 1080p 120 and it was buttery smooth, but I think I'm going to be fine with 4K 60, but we'll see. I could experiment at home. Let's see, we've got a couple more. James Vipperman, any plan to have a Metroid Prime 4 unboxing video? Absolutely. Or maybe a blind playthrough. Oh, a blind playthrough would be really fun. I don't have a capture card though, which would be the one thing I would kind of need, because otherwise this is how I'd be playing it, and you can't really get that kind of experience. But a blind playthrough would be so cool because yeah, I could have the chat, I could have the camera in the bottom right hand corner or something like that, and I could have most of the screen be occupying of what the gameplay footage is, and just having a fun time going through it together. Maybe it would be good. I'll definitely do an unboxing video. I mean, if there's any kind of special edition steelbook, I'm gonna get that, guaranteed, and I will deep dive through what that thing is all about. But even if there's a normal, just Well, there is going to be a normal edition. And even if that's it, I'll do a special unboxing video. I'll make it special, you know. I'll maybe get my different Samus Aran, Meta Ridley statues and Metroid Amiibo and kind of shrine it up and unbox it that way, or just unbox it while wearing a Metroid shirt. That will still be fun. Pokemon fan 34. Hi all. Hi Pokemon fan. Rico Lee, I would love for them to bring Samus Returns, yes, to Switch and Switch 2 at some point, because the game deserves so much more love and sales than it initially got. It came out so late on 3DS. Yeah. Dang it. Samus Returns, I was so happy to see it, and I was a little bit surprised that it did not also get a Nintendo Switch version, because it came out in like June or August of 2017, which was already several months after Nintendo Switch came out. It would have been perfect to have ported, if not that like fall or winter the next year, a couple of years later, in between 2017 and 2021 when Dread came out. 19 Samus Returns port? No. Even now? No. I think eventually it will. I think they will use it as a gap filler, kind of like how they've used certain Wii U games as gap fillers on Nintendo Switch, you know? Pokemon Fan 34. Peach is here, yes. 10,000 Noodles. Why not toss that Prime Remastered art book they're making into a potential collector's edition? That would be pretty sweet. Yeah. A bundle of the art book and Prime 4. Yeah, I would like something to commemorate the game's release beyond the game. I'm not going to complain if it's just the game, dude. I'll pay $70 easily. I'll pay $80 for Prime 4 Beyond. Are you kidding me? Like, I love Metroid. And I want this new big game to be something special. But any kind of special edition, something of it, dude, I'd be so over it. All over it. Not that I'm lacking on figurines around the house, but you throw in a little figurine for that. Oh, are they going to have unique amiibo? Ooh, for Metro Prime 4 Beyond? That would be sick. I would like that a lot. Rico Lee. Also, as far as the general direct goes, I would love to see a new Star Fox. Oh man, that's my language. F-Zero, Kid Icarus, or Wario Land to be announced. And think, all could happen on Switch 2 at some point. It's time for them. 100% on board with you on Star Fox. Absolutely. That's the game that I would love them to make big and become a new strong pillar of Nintendo's staple. Definitely. Star Fox, please. On land, in air, in space, multiplayer, story mode with 4-player co-op, versus mode, dogfight battles, adventure game, RPG elements to upgrade Fox and his fighting ability, land speed, shields, blasters, etc., and aerial combat galore. F-Zero. I think F-Zero 99 was a little bit of a testing ground, and that we will eventually get a proper big 3D new F-Zero game. I think it's bound to happen. They're also probably seeing how many people are actually playing F-Zero GX. Is it worth our time? It'll happen, I think. Kid Icarus. Even if you bring over Uprising, take the source code from 3DS, blow it up in a 4K, 60 frames per second, add some bells and whistles, a little bit of paint, improve some polygons, textures. I know I'm making it sound easy. It's not that easy, but do it, and I think it will pay off, and you will have a nice alternative to Zelda and some of these other games. Kid Icarus Uprising would be sweet. Wario Land would be so cool. Wario Land is different than a 2D Mario. You know, I'd be all for it. Good topic. Can I see Peach? This stream isn't going to be a particularly long one, so I don't anticipate leaving and coming back because she's here, but she's not in this room with me at the moment. Michael Hall, welcome back. Welcome back. Popping in to say hi, but you're at home sick. Oh, man, what happened? What happened between yesterday and now? I'm sorry that you're not feeling good. Hopefully you feel better. Oh, sorry to hear that you're sick, though. Thank you so much for the support last night. Actually, I was catching the chat up to speed on what last night was all about. I mean, last night we talked plenty of video games and it was a lot of fun. But as some of the people here were, oh, and just like that, okay, I'm going to have the free Metroid hat. First Four Figures needs to make a Silex figure for Prime 4. You know what? Yes, they do. They do need to make one. Here's my wild thought that I wish we could have had was that First Four Figures knew enough in advance of when Nintendo was going to release Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, because Nintendo talked with them about it. So they had the art, they had the models, they had the designs ready, and First Four Figures could have been working on a new suit that Samus gets for the first time in Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, or Silex, as you mentioned, or an upgrade to her ship in some capacity, something really cool. And they could have been working on it. And when Nintendo has the go-ahead, say, okay, now we showed off Metroid Prime 4 Beyond finally in June of 2024. Okay, F for F, you've kept this secret for this long. Go ahead and reveal the statue and have it up for pre-order like in August of last year, and say that pre-orders will ship, November of 2025. But don't tell them when. Just say approximately a year from now, we'll be providing you an update on when. That way, when Nintendo would announce, hopefully in September, that this is when Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out in, let's say, November, F for F could say, you remember what we said later in 2025, approximately a year from now, we'll be able to give you an update. Now we have the update of when the statues are going to be shipping out that you pre-ordered roughly a year ago or a year and a half ago or whatever it is. And how cool would it be if it could sync up this well to have the statue of Metroid Prime 4 that represents that game come out right when the game comes out? Oh, dude, it'd be so cool. Like, that would be perfect. Best case scenario. I would like a Silex figure. I have Meta Ridley. I basically want every main Nintendo character and every main Nintendo villain of a statue of both. Like, I would love to have an awesome looking Ganondorf statue. I have Link on the King of Red Lions, but Link is this big. I want a beautiful statue of Link. I have a fantastic Bowser. I have an awesome Mario, so I'm set. I have Ryu from Street Fighter. It would be cool to have like Akuma or Bison, but I'm good for now in that regard. I have Samus and I have Meta Ridley. I'm good there. I need a Donkey Kong. I would love a big, cool Donkey Kong. Like, even if it was this Donkey Kong and Pauline pair, that would make for a cool statue. Or something different, but I'm down with either. King K. Rool, that would be good too. Yeah. Okay. Yes, free Metroid hat, though. I absolutely agree. Let's see, what else would we have? Yeah, Michael Hall. I was talking about last night's stream, and once again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for last night's, very generous donations, and you are the person of conversation right now because this is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. Starting last night, I made a new thing for the channel. During any of these live streams, whenever we cumulatively get to a total of super chats being Nintendo $64 worth, I will go online, GameStop.com, get a $10 eShop card or Xbox or PlayStation if that's what you wish, and I will get a digital code, and roll the wheel, and one random person will get it. You don't have to contribute just to be eligible, but you may, and that's how you could end up getting some of your money back. If you're in it just to like, I hope I get my money back, the odds are 1 in 12, 1 in 20, whatever, might not necessarily happen. It could be someone that doesn't contribute at all towards the total that ends up winning. But it's just something to give back. Yeah, it cuts into the profit that I get, which is already cut from YouTube getting a third, but that's okay. I'm not concerned about that. I want a fun community, you all to have fun and something to keep engaging. And Michael Hall, he's the one that won it last night, after helping the stream get to that $65 total, contributing a good portion, $45 worth of it. You won the $10 right back, so that was pretty cool. That was good. And I hope you feel better. Rest today, take it easy, hopefully sleep. You know the deal. Plenty of water, tea maybe. Hopefully not a fever or anything like that. Stay warm, but not too hot. Check your temperature. I feel like dad talk. Not that you need that, you know what I mean? Like, you know what to do. Just, I feel like dad talk because plenty of times, taking care of them over the years. So rest up and hope you feel better, Michael. Rico Lee. You're convinced that Thunderstash's theory that Nintendo's been saving a potential Metroid Prime Trilogy Switch 2 edition that adds mouse controls and 4K resolution to all three games makes sense to you. Would Nintendo do something so bold? They have in the past, but they're in an interesting position now because you've got Metroid Prime 4 Remastered that's already been out for a while. Metroid Prime 4 coming out presumably so soon, like it's got to be between September and December, right? There's a 4-month span in which it could come out. And then you have the topic of 2 and 3. Metroid Prime 2, you could just put it on the Nintendo GameCube app on NSO with expansion pack, but that's not fun enough, I don't think. Maybe. Then you got Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which would have to be its own individual release because there is no Wii portion of NSO, at least not yet. I think it will happen eventually. So you could take the Metroid Prime 2 and 3 pairing and do what you did for Pikmin 1 and 2. Tighten up the resolution, throw them together. You could release them a la carte, but there you go. Or you could release them individually as remastered versions, kind of like you did for Metroid Prime. Or re-release Metroid Prime on Nintendo Switch, have a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of it, I should say, and include 2 and 3 all as this remastered trilogy. Then maybe you get away with calling it $80 or something like that, because it's 3 games all remastered. Maybe. That'd be pretty sweet. Trever XD, hi, good to see you. Joshua Cortez, I called the Nintendo company and I told them you guys should put Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Switch platform, and they said, your feedback is important to us. I hope they listen. I hope they listen too. I think Nintendo knows well, they're well aware that people would love Super Mario Galaxy 2 remastered on Nintendo Switch 2. I would love it so much if they took Galaxy 2 and gave it the Metroid Prime remastered treatment. More than putting it in 1080p or 4K, 60, widescreen, but like a repainting, a retexturing, new lighting, improved polygon models of the whole world, the whole game. That wouldn't be too distracting to Donkey Kong Bonanza, that it would overshadow it, yet it would satisfy the 3D Mario folks before potentially fall of 2026's big, grand, brand new Mario game, you know? Rico Lee, as a build up to Prime 4 specifically, maybe they're not all bundled together, but doing Switch 2 editions for all three would bring in the most people. You can't bank on 4 alone entirely right now. See, I want 2 and 3 to come out strategically so that they continue building on the hype of Metroid to get people super stoked for Prime 4. What I don't want 2 and 3 to potentially do is overwhelm people with Metroid, saying, I've got so much Metroid right now that I could just wait on Prime 4 because I'm cool for now. And then it detracting from Prime 4 sales, you know? Like, I don't want that to happen. And both are possible for different people. Both will happen. Michael Hall. Oh, you're talking Rico Lee. If those games are announced next month, that would be great for a direct. Yeah, that would be. It would be great. Shadow Drop. Could you do digital versions out now for Metroid Prime 2 and 3, like on September 3rd or something like that? And then physical versions to come, you know, by the end of the month or like in 2 weeks or something like that. And then have Metroid Prime 4 Beyond come out mid-December. That's kind of pushing it. But like, have it like 3 months in between. Okay, maybe. Or stagger them like early September, early October, and then early December, maybe. Do you think Prime 2 and 3 will be Switch 2 exclusives or also come to Switch? I think they will also come to Nintendo Switch. I think with Metroid, unlike Mario Kart World, where Mario Kart is super well established and they know every Nintendo Switch 2 owner is going to buy it, or a high percentage of it. With Metroid, they need that install base. They need that 155 million Nintendo Switch owners to have access to Metroid Prime 2 and 3 so that a very small percentage of them can end up buying those two games to help build up the fan base and cater to the Nintendo Switch 2 audience by making them look significantly better, run significantly better on NS2. So I think Prime 2 and 3 come out on both. Especially since Prime 4 is coming out on both. You know what I mean? It'd be kind of weird to like have Prime 1 on Switch, Prime 4 on both, Prime 2 on 3, only on NS2. Nah, I think it's going to come on both. Pokemon Fan 34. I just want Pokemon Coliseum or Paul Gale of Darkness to come out to the GameCube NSO soon. We do know what's coming. They're both coming. Just a matter of time. Nintendo's got to be as strategic as possible in their minds of when they put everything out so that there's never a gap and so that you always have something to play. And that if you're ever looking too much for that next thing, by looking a little bit longer and waiting patiently, you might uncover something from the past that you never picked up and played. That's kind of the hope. But yeah, those will come. They've already been announced. Egomaniac 87. I still need to play Metroid Prime 2 and 3 and would be willing to wait for 4 if I play those. Yeah. Best case scenario is we get everything, you know, in a somewhat timely manner. Michael, I still need to finish Samus Returns for 3DS. I'm stuck on the final boss. Yeah. That was such a good game. I 100% of that. Loved it. Also 100%ed Metroid Dread, another amazing one. Prime 2 and 3 are awesome games. Yeah, they are. Rico Lee, I'm expecting Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi to be spotlighted as part of the 40th anniversary and as cross-promotion for the movie too. I could see Luigi's Mansion, oh my gosh, and Mario Sunshine announced for Nintendo Classics. Yeah, having Luigi's Mansion added to the NSO expansion pack for GameCube on Nintendo Switch 2 would be pretty sweet. Super Mario Sunshine also another one that would be, you know, prime time for it. Anytime that Super Mario Sunshine, anytime that summer comes by, I'm like, I always think of Super Mario Sunshine. It always gives me that vibe. It forever will. But yeah, I'm super stoked for the 40th anniversary. I can't believe that highly, highly likely within the next couple of weeks, we will be seeing something new from Mario, and that's exciting. Pokemon Fan 34 with the "It's my money and I want it now." I get that reference. That's funny. At least I think that's what you're doing, right? Cool. Well, this has been a fun stream. We did get to go over the Square Enix Final Fantasy VII conversation that they had this morning, confirming 30 frames per second, smooth, solid, beautiful graphics. Coming out this winter, that's the one thing that we don't have a confirmation on is when? Mid-December or mid-March? I need to know. And we got to go over the sales. Nintendo Switch 2 in 8 weeks' time is the #1 best-selling console of the entire 2025 here in the United States. Over 2 million sold, best platform selling wise and a monetary wise of July. Absolute beast. Absolute beast. Well, we might be back on later for another stream. You know, I do know that the later stream is the preferred time of the day for most folks, as was voted on in in my YouTube channel, the poll that I put up. But I wanted to get this sales talk done early in the day, and it was fun, and it was great seeing you here, and some people here that aren't normally here. And you know, Michael, in your case, like, this was opportune time, sick, able to, tune in. But we got a lot of good folks in here. Free Metroid hat, if you're still here, thank you one more time. I appreciate the $5 donation. And Egomaniac87, like, also good opportunity for you to be in here, because what did you get to do? Work, make some money out there, driving safely, listening to some cool game talk. So thank you all for being here. We almost hit an hour. More likely than not, I would say I'll be back on later for some more. I'll probably go horizontal for the next one. Trying to do a little bit of both. And yeah, we're having a good time. Rico Lee, sounds good. See you later, Paul, in chat. Catch y'all next time. Yeah, catch y'all later. Thank you all once again. Hope you have a good rest of the day. And yeah, for some of you, maybe I'll see you in several hours. Maybe Peach will be here later on for that one, possibly. And if I don't see you later in the day, tomorrow or sometime soon. I'm hoping that I'll be good to return to work tomorrow and for my California trip on Friday. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, rest up, especially if you're coming to California, whether you're flying or driving. Yeah, you want to feel 100%, you know what I mean? Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye. Thanks again.